What's up, there, people? How you doing? Listen, hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're doing great on a Thursday. Yeah, on a Thursday. Today we're gonna be talking all team Rosenior. I'm gonna be giving you three things I've learned from this guy so far. Right? What's my take so far? He's been in charge for at Chelsea for the last 8 games. Right? We only lose two of them, and that was to Arsenal. Now it's a shame. It's our London rival, right? One of our what's it called? Long-standing rival, longest-standing rival. Now you can say that because you have the Leeds, which could also make the case that they might be our longest standing rival. I think Leeds and Fulham, if either one of them, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, this is all thing Rosenior. But before we get into all of that, hit the like, hit the subscribe, show this channel some love. Much appreciated. Listen, share this video if you have to. I much appreciate it. I need it. Much appreciated. Again, one more time. Much appreciated. Now let's get into it. Rosenior, so far at Chelsea, right? What have I learned? Three things I'm going to be giving you, right? But before we get into all of that, I don't have any, in terms of Chelsea news, what's going on and all of that. Now, listen, there are news going on out there. I know you already know what the news are. You don't need me telling you what the news are, right? But so we're not necessarily going to get into that. I'm going to be giving you my take, like I said, on Rosenior. What do I think, right, so far? What hasn't done at Chelsea? What have I observed from him, right? And everybody can make the case, right, in terms of results. So far, he's not doing bad. Now, the loss to Arsenal definitely do hurt, other than the fact that they've been our long-standing rival. And I think us going into us ending this season with a trophy, and I think the Carabao Cup was kind of like a hope. Now, we stay in the FA Cup, right, but we went close enough to the Carabao Cup, so it's like going into this into that Arsenal game. If we have won that game and then advanced, I think it would have been possibly great for the momentum of the team, the bonding of the team. Him Rosen, what's it called, bringing his ideas and everything. The players coming along, the fans, everything. I think it would have been a great bonding moment for every single one of us to get along with him and him getting along with us as well. And listen, trophy is what brings us together. That if you are Chelsea, trophy is what brings every one of us together. Whether you are the manager, you are the owners, right? It's trophy that brought us together. Listen, we got it. Look at what's his name, Roma. We look at Roma because of the trophy we won. If Roman was not helping or win trophy, none of us would be looking at Roma in the light we look at Roman today, right? Now, if Chelsea start winning trophy, I can tell you right now, yeah, every single problem we have with the owners, I'm not saying it's going to go away entirely, but majority of them will not even be a problem. Majority of them we will not mention. As long as we start winning and Chelsea at a level that is pleasing to us, which basically means win trophies, win the Champions League, win the Premier League, win everything there is to win, right? We will stop the whole problem. But we didn't get to do that with the FA Cup, right? I said the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Now we're back to square one, right? We got to start from scratch again. Maybe we can try for the FA Cup and maybe we can be able to get there. But what have I learned from Rosenior so far, right? Now let's get into it. Number one, his personality, right? Like if you listen to him talk, right? Like when he first came to the club, took the job at Chelsea, I thought in my mind that he was trying a little bit too hard, right, to get along with the fans, and I think possibly because maybe the owners has something to do with that. Because after the sacking of Maresca, where a lot of things came out that we defense was not okay with. We looking at them going, what these people doing? What they thinking? What are they trying to do? They're trying to ruin things for us out here, right? So and then they're going for Rosenior because we want also after you sack Maresca, if you're gonna bring in somebody, we want somebody of an elite status, right? Go and get me the Jose, go and get me the Thomas Tuchel, go and get me the Luis Enrique, right? Go and get me these people, go and get me Club, go and get me the Zidane, right? Those people, that's what we want. That's what we're looking for. The Xavi, right? Now, you can make other cases for Xavi here and there, but those are the people we're looking for. But then you go and get Rosenior, possibly a lower. His CV is even maybe worse than Maresca. Maresca came from the Championship, right? Coach with what's his name, Pep, and then went straight down to the Championship. Came back, right? Brought let's just say it back up, and then he came to Chelsea, and then Rosenior also went to Strasbourg, and now he's at Chelsea. So it's like what we doing. So when he came out of his press conference you're having, and in my mind, I'm going, he's trying a little bit too hard to appease the fan, right? It's about the fans, it's about not listen, those are things that are good, right? Those are things that are good. But his personality was what so far he's given me, right? A little bit of Jose, right? That's what that listen, that's why I'm not saying he's Jose Mourinho. No. He has given me a little bit of that Jose Mourinho vibe, right? It's like arrogant, but it's like it's not necessarily arrogant. It's coming from a place of confidence. They believe what they do, and that's the vibe he's giving me, right? He will back his players to the end. And then he's also giving me a little bit of the Tuchel vibe as well. When I say the Tuchel vibe, right, you get to see him make substitution. That is right, right? So he's not just making substitution because, like when Thomas Tuchel was there are games where he brought Callum Hudson-Odoi in and it wasn't working. He took him off immediately, even though the man been on for like 5 minutes. He did the exact same thing to Jimmy Gittins. It's not, it's not about you. It's about the team. So he's giving me a little bit of that Tuchel vibe in terms of substitution, even in the media. Some of the things he say, because how we bonded with Tuchel, I think for most Chelsea fans, now the result on the pitch was one. Number two was the thing Tuchel said in press conference. When Tuchel come out to talk, right, the way he talk. Listen, if there's no plane, we'll drive that, or we'll take the train. If there's no train, we can drive a bus. That I have a minivan, right? Those type of statement is what we. But now today, you still see that roaming around the internet, right? Because listen, that things every time I see that, it hurts me in my heart. Yeah, Mr. RDTT, Mr. TT, right? But even Jose, if you listen to the way Jose talk, right, with when he was at Chelsea. That's how we bonded with Jose. One, what's it called? The result was coming in, and two, the things he was saying. So it's like he's giving me a little bit of those two things. Of those two people, right? So his personality is a little bit of them. Now he's his own person. I cannot say he's not. He's definitely his own person, and you get to see that as well, right? Look at the Arsenal game. What he did. Yell at the Arsenal player to go back. That's something Jose would do. That's something Jose would do, right? It's like he's giving me a little bit of that, and I think to understand maybe it's working for him. So far, the result hasn't really been bad, right? So that's what I'm saying. The result is there, but personality-wise, he's giving me a little bit of those two people, right? And I think that kind of make him stand out a little bit, right? So now we move. Number two, media train. He appears to be media trained. The man always has the right thing to say. Like he know what to say, when to say, and how to say. And for me to understand, that's a problem. It's not so much, it's like if he overdo it, then we may not find the genuineness in it. And that's it's not, I won't say it's my fear, but that's why it's like I be looking at, and then I'm going like I don't want him saying something. I go, I don't trust this guy. You know what I mean? But the way he go about saying things, it's like in the media, right? He know what to say, how to say. It's like the way he come out and say them. It's like you ask him about his player, he support them, back them to the ends of the earth. Some of them, the performances they are putting in, he haven't said a negative word about any one of his players, regardless of who it is. The Garnacho, the Gittins, and we know those people are putting in what's it called? Was a jailable performance. The body, the she, the Hacto, right? They're not putting in what's it called? The performances that we want from them. But whenever Rosrnoior takes the mic, right, in the press conferences, in his press conferences, he always says something nice about them. He know what to say and how to say, right? So it's like in a way, he's blue coal perfect manager. It's not like Maresca that will go rogue, right? If for that, I want Maresca. I would like that because I want you to say what you say, and that is your thing. But now it's like with him, you don't know. You don't know what he's gonna say, right? Sometimes you can predict what he's gonna say. It's like it's me, there's no way he's me that he's never gonna say like I love the players, their quality is there. Like the amount of time he's talking about their quality, the amount of time he's talking about how professional they are, the amount of time he talks about what's it, how brilliant they are, how welcoming they are, all of these good things. Now I get it. Sometimes these positive talks, right, and those positive feedback are good, especially when you just come in the middle of a season. It helps you to be able to bond with the player and for you all to be able to get along, right? Now, like he will often say, the result is also important, and he's getting the result as well. So We'll see. But sometimes you just appear like to be way too media trained, and that may be because Bluco will brief you before you even go for what's it called, a press conference. And we saw that with Maresca. Like they will brief you, talk to you before you go for a press conference. So we saw that with Maresca as well. And but yeah, I don't know. So maybe if he can reduce the little media train thing a little bit, I think that will work for each and every one of us. But you know, like I'm not against him supporting his players. No, like back them. That's what you're there for. You're a manager. That's your job, right? Like I said, it builds their confidence. It builds the relationship you also have with them. So I'm not gonna say don't do that, but sometimes he just sounds like everything that he's saying is scripted, right? And there's no genuineness in that to understand because we want a little bit of spontaneity, right? When you talk, not like that unpredictableness, right? Like as I said, he sounds like Jose sometimes, right? That's why I told you like he was trying a little bit too hard because he will be saying things that sound like Jose. So now it's like we already have a Chelsea fan already have it in our back of our head. Jose being one of the greatest, not even the greatest manager that ever comes to Chelsea. So now we hold Jose in high esteem. So if he comes saying something that Jose would say, right, maybe we will start to like him. Something that Thomas Tuchel would say, maybe we'll start to like him. So maybe not necessarily, but like I said, his personality is giving me a little bit of those two people. Now I'm not saying it's entirely media trained type of thing that is going on, but sometimes it sounds like it, and that's my point, right? Number three, tactical flexibility. When Maresca was at Chelsea, right, and that was one of my biggest problem with Maresca, right? Like I don't know what Maresca be doing sometimes because he go with a game plan, and I get it. You go with a game plan, and that's very important. And in the middle of the game, if you find out the game is not working or going the way you want the game to go, Maresca sometimes feels most of the time it's like he doesn't have the ability to make any logical decision or a tactical decision that would benefit the team in general. Like we just sit there and wait till we lose or till we draw that game, right? If it's not working, it's not working. And I think that was part of the problem I had with Maresca, to be honest. Like, but with him so far, Rosenior, what I've seen from him so far, right? It's like the tactical flexibility in games. He's capable of making substitution that will change the game, that will affect the game, right? Garnacho coming on against in the Arsenal game, scoring that two goal that gave us hope. Now, even though we didn't capitalize on the hope when we went to the Emirates, but my point is that the Garnacho coming on, scoring that two goal, that was his substitution, right? So it's like, and then we saw it against West Ham as well. The substitution changed the game again. Two of the people that he substituted in score goals, right? That helps us win the game. So you see, like he's showing tactical flexibility, and not just that. Within his last 6 to 8 games, I've seen him with at least 4 different formation or tactical plan. Now he's going with a three in the back. We saw that against Arsenal recently, right? And then he's also going with a traditional four, right? Like 4-3-3 type of thing, or 4-2-3-1, wherein you have a fullback and all of them overlapping. I saw that against the West Ham game when we were going in for the game. Cucurella was overlapping, Rich James was overlapping, right? And now there was somewhat of a balance to that because then Casado would drop into the back three and would drop into the two center back in the middle of them, and then it turns into a back three, right? So which is good. Then it gave Cole Palmer maybe you said to understand a little bit more time. But sometimes it's not like Casado have to stay, but he just roam around there, because the goal we score, the final goal, you saw him move into that space that Cole Palmer playing the ball before him play to João Pedro. So it's like, you see what where I'm going with this. And not just that, but he also, what's it called? He's going with the inverted fullback as well. So, which is another, which is something that players themselves already used to, because we're seeing Hato inverted, we're seeing what's his name? Because in that game, right, the West Ham game, the beginning of the game, he was playing with the inverted fullback, with what's his name? Hato being the one inverting, right, and then in the second half, it was switched, right, to Hato. Now, Malo Gusto being the one inverting, but then later it turned into a traditional type of thing, a traditional system where you have your fullback overlapping instead of inverting. So you see, in one game, there was 3 different tactical switches that were made to help Chelsea. Try this one, it didn't work. Try the next one, it wasn't working, right? And then another one. So that's what I'm saying with him. right? So it's like there are a lot of things with him that is working. It's not just that. It's like you see individual players getting better. Ja Pedro scoring goals. Enzo Fernandez been scoring goals, right? Cole Palmer, right? Cole Palmer just coming back, so we can't really say much about him. Esteva is still Esteva, right? You see, individual players getting better, right? Their confidence is growing, and all of that good stuff. You see the team, to understand, coming together. Now, when we say individual players performing, now these are the players we can mention, right, to understand, because Enzo Fernandez is not the case that he hasn't been scoring goal. He's been scoring goal, but on the Rosrnoior, right, everywhere in that midfield, we put him. He's doing something. We just discovered his ability to play as a 10, and there's some things he's been doing on the ball we didn't even know he could do. So kudos to Rosrnoior, for that. Now we discovered that, what's his name, Enzo or Fernandez has something in his locker that we didn't even know existed. So in that regard, I would give him compliment for that. So yeah. And another thing, is like I'll mention again with him now, the substitution, now the rotation. Now we know the rotation is something that the owners are influencing, and also the media team is also influencing. Recently, he came out and talked about what's it called, Rich James and Neto not being on the bench was because they didn't pass the fitness test, right? So now you want to see Rich James on the bench. You want to see Neto on the bench. And I think if those two people were available, this game would have possibly go, I know, maybe the other way. Because Rich James and Neto, now I'm not saying, obviously Neto's been struggling for form lately, but in that particular starting lineup, if we had a winger like with, the type of Neto to start that game, I think it would have been much, much better, right? Much, much better. But they didn't want to risk anything because I think their primary focus this season is top four, which I do have problem with because I want a trophy. I definitely do want a trophy. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is this, right? It's like the media team, not the media, the medical team influence these decisions, right? So it's not up to him. But one of the benefit of this is this, right? You build an entire squad where it's like I know everybody can be happy, but just like you build up their confidence and to understand you build up their value because that's one thing Pep Guardiola do. If you look at Pep's squad, right? Sometimes Shirky didn't play this gun game. What reason Shirky didn't play this gun game? He played the first game, right? He was, you know, the had I mean he did play, but he didn't start the game. So that's one thing he does, right? In his squad, it's like anybody can start any game. It doesn't matter the game. It doesn't matter the game. It could be a Champions League game, and you see Kuzinov in the lineup. It could be a Champions League. Instead of saying Shirky is starting that game, you see Omar Mamouche. Right? And then you see something that it's like what happened is this. It's not so much there's sometimes like the players themselves maybe to understand you may get frustrated, but then you yourself you understand. Sometimes you're not even having your best season, but then you see yourself in a game wherein you shouldn't even be in, you don't even deserve. You see yourself in Liverpool versus City in that game. You see yourself Liverpool City versus Arsenal. You see yourself in that game, City versus Chelsea. You see yourself in that game, and you know it's like, okay, this guy been in good form. So it's not, sometimes like those little decisions, bringing in those stuff, bringing in people when maybe we say they don't deserve to be in there. We defense will say they don't deserve to be in there. It helps build the confidence of the player. It helps build, what's it called, the confidence, the trust relationship between the and the coach and the entire staff. But again, if it doesn't work, we coming for you. We are coming for you, right? Again, there are positive to it, and there are also negative to it. We talk about the negative, right? But I mentioned, right? You see Pep Guardiola do that, those little substitution, and it works at times. So Rosenior so far at Chelsea hasn't really been the worst. He's lost 2 games in 8, 2 in 8, and both of them are to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, right? And now we get to go play Wolf at the Molineux. The last time we played them, I think we won. We won, but I know Chelsea. This is Charity FC. Saturday, we shouldn't go out there and then go give Wolf a hope, right? They know they're going down. Listen, if we can help them go down, they are going to go down. We can help them go down. We shouldn't put ourselves in a position right now. We cannot afford. Our goal is top four. We cannot afford to not be in the top four. So because of that, Let's get everything we need to get done. So that's me beating Wolf. And now when I say beating Wolf, not just go there and beat them 1-0, 2-0, because right now goal difference will be very important. Because I think United get to play Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. If Spurs decide to do us a favor, yeah, as our fellow London brothers, beat United, not even though United is in one heck of a form right now. And what's his name? What's the Spurs coach? His job is in jeopardy right now. He can lose his job at any point. So he needs to pick up form. Maybe this could be the game that he do it. So who knows? But we, on the other hand, have to take care of our own business. Make sure we handle the things that we can handle. Make sure we handle the things that are under our control, right? And this game against Wolf is one of them. And I think we get to play Leeds after this game as well in the Premier League. So we have to get this done and then put ourselves in the better position. Hopefully we can win the Champions League. This thing, I'm not going to rule us out. I know our route is very difficult, but I see us in the final, and whoever it is going to meet us in the final. Thank you for the trophy. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Much appreciated. See you in the next video. Tomorrow I'm bringing you my preview for the Wolf game against Chelsea. So stay tuned for that, and other videos may be coming your way. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. See you in the next video. Cheers.